There's only one more. There's only one. There's only one more chaser. Nobody is this hyped this early. They say I'm on drugs. But my only drug is hip hop. We love this life. It's the Morning Detour on the Mighty CKT 90.3 FM.
This whole thing, we look at life like it's about what you can get from life. And I think, I read something, I was like, that's not what it is. You're going to always be unfulfilled if you look at life like that. It's about knowing you're going to leave one day. And, when you leave, the only way you're going to be fulfilled is if you know you gave everything you had.
Really, though.
And you emptied yourself here. And you left it all here because it's temporary and you got a moment, Right. So I think that for me, it's like, I want to be in this thing until, I'm out of energy, till I don't have nothing left to contribute.
The Morning Detour on CKT 90.3 FM.
She's speaking in foreign language. She telling me that she wanna play. Oh, she know I can take her to the unknown. I'll dive deeper while she's screaming out my name. I'm leaving in the morning, might have to stay. Speaking to my body, it depends on what you say. You got me in the mood, sparking a flame. I don't think that I could wait another day. You entice me. Something's inside you. Can we run it? You entice me. Something's inside you. Can we run it? Candlelight mood set the stage. Every time we fuck, I'm so amazed. All's by the nightstand, we vibe and can't get enough. I'm too honest. Baby, I can't let you go. Wish I didn't have to let you know. Leaving in the morning, might have to stay. Speaking to my body, it depends on what you say. Got me in the mood, sparking a flame. I don't think that I could wait another day.
No. No. She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
Montreal, my city, 7:02 in the morning. Winter's here. Cuffing season is here. You know how we're doing things. The number one urban morning show in the country, the Morning Detour.
Baby, move slow. Just working on your shit since October. Tryna go and ask me if I know. Cause I don't, girl, and I don't. And I'm moving quiet.
We can't play this like regular people. It's that toxic energy early in the morning. It's too much for them sales. I had to pull it back on them. Montreal, my city, good morning. Good morning. We are live on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube. It's the best urban morning show in the country, the Morning Detour. DJ Moon One.
Baby, move slow. Just working on your shit since October. Tryna go and ask me if I know. Cause I don't, girl, and I don't. And I'm moving quiet. Tell me why the fuck they crying. Baby, I don't know why they silent. Your love is us. Your love is us. Your love is us. Your love is us. As you know, everything that I don't want club on your phone. That shit always beeps into the tone. Maybe take my hand, maybe trust me again. I'm sorry that I can't express it in one of your friends. And your friends wanna be my friends. Baby, why don't you understand? That I want your friends too. Cause I know your friends are just like you. Your love is toxic. Your love is toxic. Your love is toxic. Your love is toxic. Your love is toxic.
They don't want to see us win. There's only one more chaser. Nobody's this hyped this early. They say I'm on drugs. Our only drug is hip-hop. Shout out. I love this life. It's the Morning Detour. The Mighty CKT 90.3 FM.
I can get you Fendi, Prada, Christian, Gucci. Maybe spend some time, I spend this change like loose leaf. Like rapper, come in, mama. Maybe spin around, let me see how you move loosely. I'm inside the Lambo, it's just us, the 2C. Everything I got on from the shoes that had the beastie. Plenty, penny, I'm feeling woozy. I took too many tonight, it's a movie. Look, take shots, shot after shot. Woo! What drink you drink? Cause I'm trying to eat. Sip slow, don't drink fast. I'm trying to make this life. I need transparency. Tell me what's on your mind. Take shots like back shots, back shots, shot after shot. Hey, I can get you drunk, slap me, top me, get a head low like lobby, beat it up, Rocky, chain, swinging, name, ringing, chain, don't entertain the same women. Woozy, what your vibe, let's stop by the jacuzzi. Female pearl, Gucci, fish from Montana, told her I'm a murder dancing. Look, let's keep it raw, rugged. I want to see you take shots to your bodies, all in my covers and your friends threesome and talking all these discussion. And we at a table speaking who freaky and doing what when we back at the spot. Magnums come out the box and never go back in the box. She takes shots like back shots, she's packing the shots. My cop out to zip or something like Jack in the Box. You know I made a turn, shot the clock, stop acting so shy. Come on. Take shots, shot after shot. What drink you drink? Cause I'm trying to eat. Sip slow, don't drink fast. I'm trying to make this life. I need transparency. Tell me what's on your mind. Take shots like back shots, shot after shot. Baby, we can do a trio. You and your amigo, sipping Casamigo. Yeah. I wanna see you like this leader. Bust it then I reload. Yeah. Tryna see how bad you can get when you drop. Even though you're dangerous, I love where you are. Seems like you're anxious, no matter how your scars. I'm perfectly perfect, not a single flaw. Nah, my back different. Kind of magic in from me, yo, she like my accent. I make her act different. She on Richard Billy status. The paddock cut from a different club. She a different fabric. She think I need sex every day. I be started double or just take me away. Your eyes reflect the stars on me. Get in the rave. We both got the mirror on our legs. Grab your waist and lift your legs. See your waist up. Get in the car. Don't touch nothing. Sit in the car. Let's discuss something. Either we star. Look, I end up switching up the subject on her. Look, I ain't with nothing. You gon' get her nah. Look, nah. Look, take shots, shot after shot. What drink you drink? Cause I'm trying to eat. Sip slow, drink fast. I'm trying to make this life. You got tension. Yeah. What drink you drink? Cause I'm trying to ease your mind. Take shots, shut out the shot.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
It was like a solo ride this morning, Sales. Montreal, my city, 7:10 in the morning. This is the #1 urban morning show in the country. We're coming to you live from DG Kicks, the leader in sneakers and clothing and sportswear. He is Mr. Athleisure. Big up to yourself, Shondell. Big up to G-Flex. You guys just listened to Survivor's Corner. Nah, you know what's going to be for the next 2 hours. I'm going to give you the best interviews, reviews. We're talking about culture, society. Everything is beautiful. I am the Montreal Kobe Bryant. They know that I'm nice. They hate that it's me. I'm the one and only Weezy Mood Chaser. This is the mighty CKT 90.3 FM. And as you can see looking out your window, when I started, I'm in the studio here. My boy Sales, HLR. This morning we have Shahara co-hosting with us, the songstress, the writer. She's also a literature major, so things is moving. This morning we're going to do our Black Pen episode. We're going to talk about Black books. We have a Black author, Russell Parkway. I want to talk about a little bit about James Baldwin a little bit. And I want to talk about this movie that's coming out in April. It's about, before there was Mozart, there was a brother called Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. So I want to talk about this guy. This guy was probably the most fascinating African ever to be in Europe. He was killing everything, the fencing, composing, all that. Before Mozart, there was this dude, Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint-Georges. So things is moving. It's a major show this morning. We have a slew of guests. We have Nemat Sadat. He's an African-American journalist, novelist, human rights activist. He has a book that he wrote called The Carpet Weaver. Man, what an amazing book, man. Also, we have Yellow Pad Sessions. Tomorrow night is Compassion. It's a 4-part series. So earlier, I think it was in September, we did Courage. And now we have Compassion coming up. So for those that don't know, Yellow Pad Sessions is a curatorial nonprofit organization who brings forth human rights issues through the form of art. So that's beautiful things. And I think it was on Wednesday, Snowstorm Day. I went to this event brought to you by C and Desta downtown. They had these young professionals that were fascinated with the film industry. For the last 5 weeks, they've created this scene and they brought everything together. So all aspects of filmmaking, they took part in that. So shout out to that group. So that was their graduation. So I went out to that. So Cassandra, executive director of Desta, is coming on the show after 8 o'clock. And we also have Agapi. She's the executive director for C. And that's the Center for Young Black Professionals in Toronto. So, a lot of people's coming together. Also Wednesday, I went out to it's like a new bar, kind of like brasserie thing. It's called Memento, and man, that was a beautiful thing in there, man. They had they had the different corners with the swings and the teddy bears and stuff like that. They had a corner, upstairs here. They had the major the big Jenga game, and they had the little hacky sacks around, like kind of like a fireplace. They had the air hockey, the ping pong table. It's a very interesting kind of bar, man. Yeah, it's facing the Lachine Canal. And that's called Memento. They're going to have a big grand opening. It's been on for a while, it's kind of like soft openings, but they're having a major thing on Saturday. So people should check that out. Memento is dope. So Memento is Montreal's new microbrewery and brew pub. That's what it's called. It's called a brew pub. Located right on the shore of Canal Lachine in Point St. Charles. So it opened its doors June, summer of 2022. So it's offering a mix of funky decor, neon vibe, and geeky atmosphere. So it's a really, really dope place, man. There's 2 floors. And the beer wasn't that bad, man. They brewed our own joint. They brought me in the back and showed me all that. So shout out to Memento, man. Last week, great episode. We had Full Nemi from Carr. We had the ladies from Hoodstock. And we also had the mayor of Coordinators, Grasa Kazaki. So that was great. All those interviews are available on our Detour, on our YouTube, Detour 514. We're going to feature 2 new albums this morning. So a little later on the show, and play some cuts from the new Nas album, King's Disease 3. And we also some cuts from, we'll do a little mix at 8 o'clock, the Guardians mix, Wizkid album. It's called More Love, Less Ego. But you got some tunes on there. That Deep song, Next week is our date night episode. So next week, we'll give away some prizes. I don't want to let too much out the way. But next week, we talk about dating and, Morning Detour Hall of Famer. Tata will be joining us. She'll be fresh from Belize and doing stuff at Parliament. She actually parachuted a couple of weeks ago out the sky. And she's a black girl. So, Tata be living her best life, man. Shout out to Tata. Now, she started her own practice as well, too. So Tata's doing big things, man. When I come back from playing this music, I don't know if you guys know about Native TV. So Native TV, for those that don't know, it's a channel. It's a francophone channel that's dedicated to diversity in Quebec. And, CRTC is the one that governs like radio and TV and all those kind of regulations. And Native TV wanted to, become more established and be up on there on on the major stage with the Videotrons and the Rogers. And good Lord and below, the conglomerate of medias, Rogers, Bell, Quebecor, and Cogeco, have all teamed up to block the licensing for this only francophone channel dedicated to diversity in Quebec. And the channel's in French. But, because the channel is about dedicating to, it's dedicated to diversity in Quebec, I don't know, it's weird. Is that a weird thing? For these major conglomerates like Rogers, Bell, and Quebecor, that Cogeco, that's our talking about, we're about inclusivity, and, we're about appealing to all different groups of people. And then this one channel, Native TV, they're blocking. And this was a plan. They got together and they're like, yo, listen, they're trying to block it. It's wild, man. So after the short musical break, we have Tracy Paul. She's a contributor to the culture, so she has some thoughts on that as well. So pretty interesting morning. Oh, of course, I can't forget, man. We got some sounds from the city, new music from Viva La Blur, Dreamin', Win-Win Situation Music Group. And of course, the big homie Sales HLR got some tunes out here. This week we're going to feature a celebration anthem. I don't know what Sales not really a party guy, but he was jumping on that one. What's the name of that other joint too you sent me off to? Can't get them safe side this week. I'll give it to them next week. So 7:16 in the morning, play some tunes. So we come back, we're going to do some local and international news. A lot of things going on. The ER is overpacked. They say it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's like the triple threat right now. I think it's the flu, the COVID, and some other thing going on. There's a stomach flu. Come on, it's crazy, man. But anyways, let's be safe on the road in Montreal, my city. Good morning. It's the Morning Detour. When we come back, news and reviews.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Hello, this is Russell Brooks, Montreal's own suspense thriller author, and you are listening to The Morning Detour with Wizzy Moonchaser on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Let's trade places in some real estate. The way we moving things, I won't complain. I won't complain. I won't complain. Oh, you want me to give you what's yours? That's what it's made for. You don't wanna miss the main call. Yeah. Tonight I'm finna let you do the honors, but you gotta bless your plate. Save me some for later. No one else switch it up like that. I'm a challenge. I know how to claim my place. But I love when you call me baby. 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 Turn around, be submissive. Even though you know I talk big shit in that peep shit. I'm attentive. I love when you call me baby. Baby. Love when you call me baby. Love when you call me baby. Turn around, be submissive. I talk big shit in that peep shit. I'm attentive. I love when you call me baby. You've been out here, don't know where you been. I know you've been in your bed. What do you see that's so impressive? No need to take it off, feel it beat in your blood, for deep in your legs. Yeah, I'm different, no angel, but I'm gifted. Won't say, but I'm addicted. Taste looking expensive. I won't be Xing you out, baby. I'm on that building. They won't be able to tell me this shit to me. coffee. In the morning, kiss for breakfast. I playing with my necklace. My God, that smile is so infectious. Baby, I don't wanna think about it. When you're not there laying on my couch, yeah. I hear the silence getting louder and louder. I'm sorry if I come off like I'm needy. All I need to know is that you need me. I know I can get a little greedy. I just want you all to myself.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Exposine, Montreal's huge small press comic and zine fair, is back for its 20th anniversary edition. More than 150 artists, authors, and publishers gather for just one weekend each year, so of course you can't miss it. There'll also be a 20th anniversary gala show on November 17th, and a special reading live from MTL's Archive Center on November 16th. The Exposine Fair is free. It takes place on Saturday, November 19th and Sunday, November 20th from 11 to 6 at Église Saint-Arsène Church, 1025 Bélanger, Metro Jean Talon. Visit exposine.ca for all the information. Exposine is a CKUT co-production.
Pick up the tree, decorate the tree, make a gift list, invite the in-laws, drop off the canned goods, find that fruitcake recipe for the office party, plan the dinner for Christmas Eve, decorate the house, hang the stockings, wrap the presents, ask Lucas to clean up his room, do the groceries, bake cookies. Right, go get vaccinated.
The holidays are fast approaching. Get vaccinated against COVID-19 now so you'll be protected in time. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Yes. Good morning, Montreal. 7:21 in the morning. This is the number one urban morning show in the country, and this is the Morning Detour. We on Fridays. Weezy Moonshakes on the dial. You know how doing things in the mighty CKT 90.3 FM. When it's here, get your long johns out, get your puffy coat out of the closet. I had to dig out 2 pairs of the boot sales. You know, you got the work boots and you got the good one when you go out. Oh boy, you can't live your whole life in Montreal. It's just not so. I love the country. I love the city, but man, there's a lot of winter here. So I want to start with some news this morning. Before I begin, I want to bring up, she is the ultimate moderator. Don't have no debates, don't have no sit-down discussion about the culture. If Tracy Paul is not hosting it or moderating it, we don't want to go to it. So this morning, I want to bring Miss Tracy Paul. How you doing, Queen?
I'm doing great. How are you, Weezy?
Yeah, I'm just happy it worked. I'm just happy it worked. Yeah, so before the break, I was talking about this thing here, Tracy, about Native TV. And I know a lot of the creators and broadcasters, entertainers on the east side think that me myself on the west side here, because we're English, we don't consider the French side and the creative stuff you guys are doing. I'm a big fan of Native TV, and it's a great place. It's dedicated to diversity in Quebec. And Tracy, I found it work. I kept seeing the postings about it, and then I read into it a little bit more. Rogers, Bell, Quebecor, Cogeco, the media's conglomerate, are trying to block Native TV from getting their CRTC license. Like, what's up with that? Why would they do such a thing if these companies have openly pledged to be open to diversity and inclusion?
Well, first and foremost, the reason why it's really important for us to get behind this is because it's our taxpayers' money that's being in play right now. So what the situation is that Native TV is the first francophone TV station that is trying to get their license to be able to produce French content for audiences that are not being served right now on TV. And what those big broadcasters are saying is that they are already producing that type of content. They're saying that if there is a need to have this type of content, or a need for us to access that type of content, that we should go, for example, watch YouTube or watch BT.
Yeah.
And yes, and so if I can break it down in a way for people to understand, is that you and I, Weezy, are paying taxes, right?
Yeah.
And so part of that tax money is going to what we call an envelope. And that envelope is being separated between the big broadcasters, which is Rogers, Cogeco, et cetera,
Yeah.
for them to be able to produce content. So it's not. I'm saying it in a way. It's not the whole perspective, but so for them, every year they have to make sure that they have to make sure that they're spending all the money that is being given to them.
Right.
If not, they'll be told that, well, last year you didn't use the whole amount that I gave you, so I'm gonna give you less. And so the first reason is that they don't want to split that money with another player.
Oh, okay.
They want to keep that money amongst them. So that's the first thing. The other thing as well is that when they push the argument of already producing content that is serving the diversity, we have to understand that they're doing research on people that are actually watching TV. They're not considering people that are not watching TV. So it's very easy to say that, well, we have people from the diversity that are watching TV and feel represented with the content that's on TV. But if you are to do research on people that are actually not watching TV, you'll quickly understand that there is no representation. There's no content that is relevant to us, or content that So that's in a way, in a very simplistic way, that's what's going on right now. So as being the first francophone TV station that wants to create content, I think they had. I was reading about it because I was curious as a Black creator, right?
Exactly, right.
I was really curious to understand the situation at Native TV. And so you see that they really want to cover different aspects of content, which is they want to create documentaries, and they want to be able to have local music. They want to, so a bunch of content that could be very interesting and a little bit more content that talks to us.
Yeah.
So I think that is very important for everybody, and not only Black people, everybody to get behind this and support the situation.
Yeah, they have shows for everybody on Native TV, especially the Aboriginal community too, that's been marginalized, and we don't hear their voices enough. And not just only in spaces where it's kind of like, okay, well, this or that happened to them. So that's why I thought Native TV was dope. I know Kiki, Kevin Calixte had a show up there as well. At first, when I saw the story, Tracy, and I'm glad that I love the way you broke it down, because I'm like, okay, it's a money thing. I'm like, somebody doesn't want to give, somebody else want to give up some kind of money. And then, okay, then it's okay. I get that point, some money thing. These are major media conglomerates. And I'll make sure I say them properly. Rogers, Bell, Quebecor, Cogeco are actively blocking this Native TV, which is a francophone channel that's representing diversity in Quebec. And then they tell us, and I'm glad you broke it down. You said, well, a lot of us that don't watch TV, we'll watch if they actually created content that was pretty dope for us. My whole vibe was like, I just want us to have a Black sitcom that's produced in Quebec by people that look like us. But, I tell myself, is that wishful thinking? Because at the current state, I don't know what shows up on there, on the Bell, on the Rogers stuff, and on Quebecor that really, that really sits with us in the Black community a little bit. And I know not just us, but everybody that takes in urban culture and hip hop, which is pretty much everywhere in the world. So it's a weird thing for them to block, man. Is the envelope really that big? The envelope must be big. They're like, we can't squeeze this. Cause they could have hit Native TV with like the rookie deal, right? So it's like, okay, if we got to bring these guys in and we got to break envelope extra weight, we'll just give them a minimum, and then after a certain number of years, we'll cap you guys off. We come and get the rookie deal sales on the Native TV. And that's crazy. That's filthy stuff, man. Tracy, I'm just trying to find spaces so you can become the next Issa Rae, man. I feel like you have an insecure episode in you. I think you have a series. There's an awkward Black girls. There's something in you. I don't know. From the Haitian woman perspective, I don't know. Something about it.
I actually do. And this is the reason why it's really important for us to get behind the petition and sign and even donate if we can, because there are people like me, there are people like Huey, there are many other creators in this province that actually would benefit from having a platform where they can be producers, content writers, directors, actors. And so, we're already not being given that many opportunities, or there are so many challenges for us to be able to evolve in that industry, in that sphere. So having a platform where we could have those opportunities and participate to content that not only discussions or documentaries, but just like you said, a series like fiction TV that's really it
That kind of speaks to us a little bit, man.
Yes.
I need that black sitcom. Oh man, Tracy, man. Well, thank you so much. Let people know how they can follow you, because you always post something. Oh, listen, before you leave, 'cause I know we had spoken about it yesterday. Since you're here, I was going to do it in my Thank Me Later segment, which is our community updates. Tracy, you're going to be a part of the meetup, the second edition, brought to you by Origin Village, friend of the show. So it's a 2-day event from 9 to 5 on November 25th, from 11:30 to 5 on November 26th, with conversations, conferences, workshops, and roundtables on digital transformation of Black Canadian businesses. Man, it's a mouthful, Tracy. Both days will end with a 5 to 7, where you can network with a nice cocktail in hand and invest your dollar in the Black community in their pop-up from 3 to 8. So day 1 is focused on Buy Black, and day 2 be focused on tech. And Tracy, what will be your role in this right here?
So I'll be facilitating a workshop that's called Learn Up, where we're going to discuss, on Friday, we'll discuss customer service. And on the second day, we'll have conversations about, digital transformation in the business sphere. So I'm super excited to be able to facilitate those conversations at the meetup.
Well, listen, man. You're everywhere. Yeah, you're looking real comfortable with the mic. You might be the next week. You might be the next Ricky Lake. I don't know. You need your own show, man. You need your own show. Montreal Mindset, been speaking with Tracy Paul, contributor to the culture. Tracy, always a pleasure having the show. You gotta come co-host again soon. We gotta get you to pull up.
Of course, you already know I'm always down.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Oh man, a lot of great stuff. Let me play one song. I think I found that sales track. Sales, I'm gonna pull out the safe side. Let me see if I can play the good one on this joint here. Uh-oh.
Gon' fly, spend your money, everybody gon' die. Just be on the safe side. I know you will, you gon' try. Just follow your dreams, you'll go far. So let's be on the same side. Just to be on the safe side.
There's only one more chase. Nobody's this hyped this early. They say I'm on drugs. All only drug is hip hop. Morning Detour, Morning
Everybody don't die. Just be on the safe side. I know you will, you gon' try. Just follow your dreams, you'll go far. Same side. Just to be on the same side. Just to be on it, be on the same side. If you really with me, you ready, we gon' ride. I put my trust in you when it's some things I let slide. And I ain't gotta judge if you ready to go to mile. Is you really gon' ride? Buckle up, cause if you will, I'll be there by your side. Forever, let's make a deal, I lift you up a good rush. Always, we run away the way to go, cause we're afraid to let it show. I'm well aware, I know about pride. Just to be up on the same side. Go spread your wings, you gon' fly. Spend your money, everybody gon' die. Just be on the safe side. I know you will, you gon' try. Just follow your dreams, you'll go far. So as we on the same side. Just to be on the safe side.
Listen, I'm trying to be on the safe side this morning. Be safe on the road. Let's be honest, a lot of y'all ain't got the winter tires yet. I kept mine on from last year. I kept mine on from last year, so I was Gucci. I was like, yo, we good on this. Yeah, because something. I was like, we're gonna run with it like that. Yes, man. Good morning, Montreal. Welcome back, man. It's the Morning Detour. Shahara has found her way to us here.
Yes.
She got turn you up here, Shahara.
I'm good.
Watch her. Listen, man. You know, I had a beautiful intro first. Let me find the beat too, man. I had this joint for you, right? You know what I mean? I gave you that toxic song this morning too. So with our deluxe winter album, we'll also be giving you writings and tidings from Weezy, Moonchaser, and Shahara, the Toxic Journal. Oh, are you turned up enough?
I have nothing.
You have nothing? Oh. Oh. Because the chord comes out from this one, I keep thinking it's not the right one. So you good now? You want more? You want more sauce?
I have arrived.
Singer songwriter Shahara's in the building. Welcome to the Morning Detour.
Oh, always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for co-hosting with me this morning.
Always a pleasure.
So great time. Shout out to Maggie for producing the show. Great time when we did this Black Pen episode. Talk about producing the morning show. You actually have a degree in English literature.
I do. Surprise, surprise.
So how does that work? Like, how much essays have you had to write in your life? In your lifetime?
I've lost counts. But you know what the hardest part for me always is? Finding the title.
That's the hardest part.
It's important to me. Maybe not to all essay writers, but to me, sometimes I just stare at it. I finished writing an essay, and it's like a baby. It's like I've just given birth, and I sit there and I stare at it, titleless.
When I think about you English literature people, English literature folk.
Talk to me.
Yo, these 10,000 character or words papers with footnotes and endnotes and APA style and this style.
It's a process.
I feel like everything's in that first paragraph and that thesis statement. Everything is pretty much jammed up in there.
It is, yeah, for sure. That's definitely the most important part. But I mean, unpacking for me is always.
How many books would you say you've read in a lifetime?
Oof, again, lost count.
Have you read a lot of Black books?
I have, actually, because I took a course in African American literature, which I really, really enjoyed.
Did that have Eric Jerome Dickey and Zane there? Because one of the best books ever was Fly Girl.
Yeah, I didn't read that. I have not read that.
You look like someone that's read A Day Late, $1 Short.
I have not.
It's all about stopping English literature.
I'm a day late and a book short.
So the internet, when you put up, 10 books, every person, 10 Black books or books every Black person should read. I didn't want to make this like a black thing, but obviously Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye comes up.
Yes.
And if Beale Street could talk, I'm a big James Baldwin guy.
Yes.
I love how James Baldwin, he had some great views, man. And he's openly gay and stuff like that too. But what a great speaker and orator. Like if you go online, you put James Bond, you hear him talk in like a large room in England and stuff like that.
Yes.
He has some great takes on Black culture, on African American culture.
Absolutely.
So I see this trailer the other day, and I like period pieces, right? So I'm a big Mozart guy. One of my favorite movies, Amadeus, right?
Okay.
So I know this is kind of like this urban folk or this legend that Mozart was Black, right? Mm-hmm. So I see this trailer about this other dude. I was like, who's this other guy?
Oh, this is the guy that you're talking to me about. Okay.
So Pete, don't clown him. So before there was Mozart, and even at some point in this guy I'm gonna mention, at some point in his career, him and Mozart were apparently staying in the same castle. So it's unclear if they ever met or not, but there's parts of this guy's style that in some of Mozart's early work you can tell you picked it from this guy.
Okay.
Because he knows Black people, when we do things, we have a certain signature, we have a certain vibe, it's a certain feel when us Black folk get together and do something. And I don't know why they do not teach us this in history class in Quebec. Because this guy, like even musicians, it's like this guy's phenomenal. So it's the story.
He's also a musician.
Yeah, okay. He's many things. I'm gonna break it all down.
Okay.
So have you ever heard of Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint George?
I have not.
So Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint George, he was a musical superstar in the 18th century France.
Okay.
So Joseph Boulogne, a Black man. So I'm gonna tell you about this book. It's called Before There Was Mozart: The Story of Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint George. He was a composer, champion, fencer. Before all of that, his mom was a slave. Obviously, had a baby with a slave master. Mm-hmm. He took a liking to the kid and brought the kid to France. So he's an aristocrat, but he's Black. This is the 18th century. We're in the middle of slavery. Like this is like we're in the thick of slavery and all of that.
Okay.
Joseph became one of the most accomplished men in Europe.
Okay.
Black in the 18th century. Nobody talks about him.
Yeah.
So back then in the 18th century, it was a big thing to fence. Like fencing was the thing. Like everybody had money, you fence. He goes to the fence. So his dad, the white dude, puts him in the fencing school. After a year or so, he becomes the number one fencer in the school. So they no longer pit him against other students in the school. They pit him against the number one fencer in France.
Okay.
He beats him too.
No way.
The black guy. Joseph Boulogne. He became an accomplished composer, champion fencer, virtuoso violinist, conductor of the Concert des Amateurs, a leading symphony in Paris. He became friends with the princess of France at the time. And apparently he was a good-looking black guy too.
Wow.
But he had a lot of aristocrat lovers. He was also a colonel in the French Revolution. They had imprisoned him because, during the French Revolution, they're going against all the aristocrats. Mm-hmm. And he was viewed as an aristocrat. They locked him up. They never killed him. And eventually they let him go. Apparently, he had one of the first crew. Because when people found out that this is a black guy leading a regiment, he was one of the first guys to have the first crew of Black Army. Mm-hmm. And it said this set the precedent for what happened in Haiti down the road. Wow. So Joseph Boulogne, Chevalier de Saint George. Wow. The movie's called Chevalier. It's gonna come out April 7th, 2023. He's been you come sit down, Grace. He's been one of the most amazing men in history ever. Wow. They say he was the most accomplished man in France at one time.
That's amazing.
And we never learned about him in school.
Never learned about
him. This dude was killing.
And I would remember that name.
Composer, champion fencer, virtuoso violinist, conductor of the Concert des Amateurs. Mm-hmm. He played for kings and queens. He created a new style of in violin and composing. And Mozart took from him.
Wow.
But he don't talk about the black guy.
No,
hey, beautiful things this morning. Okay, let's keep it mixy. Because Yellow Patch session's coming up next. See, let's figure out which one her volume is. I think that's me. I think that one's her. Yeah. Let's do a quick round table of news, real quick before the executive director Grace comes online. So, great news, Shara. Apparently, Montreal is Canada's safest city. I haven't know. What I like to know about these studies, man. What I like to know about these studies, and if you have to go into it, I know some of y'all start at 8:00. You can still follow us on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, Detour 514. So Montreal is ranked number 3.
Wow.
Safest city. Don't feel that way. They were just shooting in Laval last Friday. Montmorency. Yeah. I don't know everybody's getting the guns. Nobody seems to know. We do have one of the biggest ports in the world, but that's neither here nor there. So, the Canadian city placed in the top 3 in the state of travel insurance safest destinations report compiled by travel insurance provider Berkshire Hathaway Travel Protection. But it warns travelers of a prevalence of guns in Montreal. Mm-hmm. So we're ranked number 3 with prevalence of guns. Of course, some of the top places, the Netherlands and Denmark. Mm-hmm. And Iceland.
Those are always top of the list, huh?
What's going on in Iceland?
I need to find my way there.
That's crazy. Quebec doctors want you to mask up again in public. There's a triple threat of viruses. There's an increasing number of respiratory viruses cases in children.
Yeah, no, it's crazy what's going on in the children's hospitals right now. There's like a 24-hour wait in the emergency room.
Yeah, emergency rooms are done. The emergency rooms are done all over the place.
And fever medication for children is sold out everywhere.
What's the name of the fever medication? Maybe Amazon might have it. Maybe Jeff Bezos might have it.
No. I called Jeff. No. I mean, all jokes aside, I really did look on Amazon and it's sold out everywhere. I've had 2 sick kids for the last 2 weeks, and I have not been able to get my hands on any fever medication. And I'm talking like it's
So what happens at that point?
Even like the generic stuff. It is.
So what happens at that point?
I mean, you talk to the parents at the daycare. And,
I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. So if you're a parent and your kid is sick, right?
Yes.
There's no over the counter medication for you to get to right now?
No, I suppose.
The Flintstone tablets are there, and those are expensive. We never got those as kids because those are bougie, right? You know what I mean? I wasn't getting the Flintstone candies. It wasn't even a thing. Like certain West Indian kids, a group of like real West Indian parents, it wasn't even a thing you thought in your mind.
Right.
To like, hey mom, let me get those Flintstone.
Well, I had the generic one. I mean, I really wanted like the Wilma and the I had the generic.
Brenda wasn't getting those, man.
I'm all right, though. I seem to have turned out okay.
Let me make sure you wasn't getting the right stuff. Yo, I told you that Jack Bauer. I told you that spy stuff was real. Right. we got Russell Parker coming up later. On his spy books.
I love that series, by the way. 24. Nobody talks about that anymore.
Every episode of 24 was like a movie. Of course, Jack Bauer's a bad man. Keith Sutherland's Canadian.
Yes,
we got them quietest kept. Keith Sutherland, Keanu Reeves, and my next boy Liam Neeson, all Canadian. The best dramatic. actors ever. Yeah, Liam Neeson.
I'm so not a
You didn't know
series
Liam Neeson
person.
is Canadian? Taken? Every movie's the same. Taken, Unknown, his new one, they're all the same.
Wow.
He's looking for somebody. He's got special skills. Nobody can touch him like Steven Seagal. Everything is moving. But let me hold you here. RCMP arrests Hydro-Quebec employees suspected of spying for China. There's spies out here?
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's spies?
That story's nuts.
Oh, that's crazy. So he's charged with espionage after allegedly providing trade secrets to China to the detriment of Canada's economic interests. So that 24 stuff is really real. It's not a joke. Canada will soon allow medically assisted dying for mental illness. So now, even if you think you have a mental illness, stuff like, yeah, you could get made.
It's a touchy one.
So that's gonna come into effect next week. And it's such a, it's spicy, man. We got to be more experienced minds on this topic.
Yeah.
But in 2021, there were 10,064 assisted deaths in Canada, an increase of 32% over 2020. And those are like just physical ailments. It's like, okay, this can't go no. But now we're gonna add on mental issues too. You could back out if you're trying to back out. Real quick, 4 U.S. states vote to ban slavery in all forms. I don't know if this is still a thing. So Louisiana votes to keep it. So voters in Alabama, Oregon, Tennessee, and Vermont have officially abolished slavery in all forms. But in Louisiana, voters rejected the proposed Amendment 7 that would have reworded the offending part of its constitution, probably because it might have legalized slavery again. I don't know, man. Louisiana's it's kind of mixy down south. If you don't know,
mixy. Now you know.
If you don't know, now you know. Montreal's getting a huge ice bar by the Lachine Canal. It's have his own holiday cocktails. I'm not a holiday person, so I'm not going to shout them out. And the W Hotel in Montreal is opening a hip-hop inspired cocktail lounge for the holidays. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And archaeologists in Egypt, I like to give a science fact every week. You know, I like to do things. So archaeologists in Egypt discovered a tunnel that may lead to the long-lost tomb of Cleopatra.
Right.
And, Cleopatra was like the first petty chick ever. Like, she killed herself before they could get her. Right. She did not play with Antony. She did not play. Before the Romans came for her, Cleopatra was like, I'm out. Another important fact, and you guys got to start laughing. When I did this a couple weeks ago, y'all thought it was a joke. But sperm counts are dropping across the world.
Right.
And the decline is accelerating, even though we've hit 8 billion the other day in the population.
Right.
I don't know how these studies are correlated. But sperm count among men worldwide is feeling at an accelerated rate. After having over the last 40 years, a large study said Tuesday called for action to stop the decline. How are we supposed to do that? Y'all did the whole study, but didn't find the solution. We need to call Liam Neeson. Coming up next, we have the executive director of Yellow Pad Session. Great stuff. Saturday, we're going to have Ken Passion. Great through the arts. We're talking about civil rights and culture. Last time I was there for their courage thing. And let me tell you, man, Riding with Fire really changed my life. These ladies are pushing journalism to the end. Awesome. But I love it, man. Yellow Pad Session, Optimista, coming up next. The Morning Detour. I gotta move the cursor around because you're DJ and host at the same time. I'm like, okay, where were we in the show here? Okay, yeah. Okay, I got some nice music coming up now. Let's get it popping. Shahara's in the building.
What up?
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Who's that on your alarm, Lord? Heard you got a new best friend. Spend a hell of time lately. I'm not the only one that you invest in. Why you gotta go so slow? Running only makes things worse. Oh, you been steps ahead lately. Cause like you got your lines reversed. We was on the same way. Who told you to change things? I thought we was gang. Used to slide through with the thing. Fucking up your band, yeah. Turned you to my mind. Yeah, so they don't got history like we do. Don't got that chemistry like we do. They don't got history like we do. No. Who's that on your alarm, Lord? Yeah. Heard you got a new best friend. Spend a hell of time lately. I'm not the only one that you invest in. Why you gotta go so slow? Running only makes things worse. Oh, you been steps ahead lately. Just like you got your lines read.
First, we had a lot of fun, but I ain't the only one. I can never take it personal. Had it once before. Put it on your mind, I don't care.
Rated M for mature. Y'all see, I put that mature sign on there. I put that mature drop. Where's Deja Loaf? Where's Deja Loaf? We on Fridays, the Morning Detour. This is the mighty CKT 90.3 FM.
RP Blade, the people wanna party, don't shoot the DJ. He with the other side, we gon' shoot the DJ. Notorious big, having sons like CJ. I remember when we used to shop in 7 days. I remember when we used to shop at 7 days. Grandma in the basement, whipping up cane. My grandma, she was different, ain't carry no cane. Me and my little brothers, like Pinky in the brain. If I tell you that I love you, I just hope you feel the same. Take me to another world, we like Willie and Dwayne. Yeah, we like Willie and Dwayne. I'm big dog, but they gon' talk like they monster. I'm Terry, but I got ties to the rock like I'm Tata. I'm big dog, but they gon' talk like they monster. I'm Terry, but I got ties to the rock like I'm Tata. I'm big dog, but they gon' talk like they monster. I'm Terry, but I got ties to the rock like I'm Tata.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
I just want to feel the vibes this morning. Let's be safe on the road. A light snow, a little puffy snow. We know the difference between the wet and the light snow. Yellow Pad Sessions in the building. We're talking about diversity. We're talking about respecting everybody. Oh, optimistic tomorrow. Come on. Look at the beat selection. Look at the DJ mood one. Hey, you guys already know December 23rd is dropping. The album of all albums, Under the Mistletoe, Shahara, Weezy Moon Chaser. Tales from Xmas. It's now about Toxic Tales, 6-part. You know we're doing things. The deluxe is gonna come with a poem book. In My Toxic Life and Times. Montreal, my city, 7:51 in the morning. You know how we're doing things. Boy, talk about artistry. Now, I've never told this to her face. I'll tell her now because I don't want Grace to feel like call me on the back of Grace, executive director of Real Pad Station. Grace, I'm telling you some real stuff. This morning. We keep it real here on the Morning Detour. When I tell people I go to these events, I say I go to these artsy-fartsy events. That's why I call it the optimistic event. I feel like when I go to an optimist event brought to you by Yellow Pad Session, I feel like I'm in Sex in the City. It's like I was dating Carrie or Samantha.
Oh my God.
and I want to take them something shishi poo. I'm going to go to Optimista. For those that don't know, Yellow Pad Sessions is a curatorial. What a hard, you don't do words longer than 10 letters. Shara. But it's a curatorial nonprofit organization that brings forward human issues through arts. So it's a collective of professionals from diverse backgrounds and disciplines who are passionate about transforming events into a learning experience and opportunities for social discourse. And I love it, man. It's great. So on Saturday will be Compassion. Compassion will be beautiful. So that's November 19th. You have a keynote speaker, Nimat Sadat. He's from California. He's an exiled Afghan LGBTQ plus advocate. He has a acclaimed novel that he wrote, The Carpet Weaver. So he's kind of lost in translation like Tom Hanks right now. We don't know where he's at because in the States, they get like a brush of snow. It's a wrap. You're also going to be screening the Oscar-winning film, The Queen of Basketball. And, last time you got me messed up with the Riding with Fire. So I'm excited. I like y'all choices. So you have The Queen of Basketball and you have the award-winning animated documentary Flea. A special mention from director Jonas Por Ramusin. Apologize if I messed up his name.
Oh, it's hard, that one.
And
I think he even messed it up.
And of course, there's always a performance. Last performance ended off with a shocker. You know what I mean? But Melissa Juliet will present her dance piece titled Me, Ma, a daring piece full of humor and optimism. And there'll be an exhibition by Rayhan Ibrahimi presents Loop and Loop, a sculpture installation that harkens to her Persian art ancestry and meditative practice. Okay. And of course, there's always a little cocktail after live. DJ says by Web Feed. I didn't get an invite to Web Feed just yet. But I'm ready to create DJ Rafalino. Let me know.
Oh gosh.
And of course,
We're gonna change that.
And of course, we love our signature Optimista cocktails and mocktails. For those that don't know the difference, mocktails don't have no alcohol. Shower, you can talk. Shower, your mic is on. Shower's thinking about our second.
It sounds like a really cool event. Really, really cool.
So we're super proud, and I can't wait for you to come.
I would love to be there, actually.
Yeah.
So I'd like to bring to the table Miss Grace, Executive Director. So you're the big chief, you're the big boss?
Well, yes, the big boss of a very large, small organization. You're looking at it.
I know you guys are about 10, 11 people.
We're about 10, yeah. Well, with volunteers, we go up to 15, sometimes 20. But we like it small.
Okay, let's open up here. You guys are very, very ambitious at Yellow Pass Session because you guys are not taking only social issues and human issues. You guys, it's not just one way, just having a conference. Let's jazz up the city conference. Let's jazz up the discourse. Yes. Let's throw some art in it. Let's find some people that are reflective. And last time, to the grace of you guys, I got to interview Mr. Torreira, first openly black cop in the Met Police Force. He was the poster child and everything. And that was a great experience. And I would never had that discussion or understand someone going through that kind of being black and being openly gay and being in a police force. Now, first of all, they didn't want black guys. And on top of it, you're gay. And we had that discussion because of Yellow Pass Session, because of Optimista. So you guys have a 4-part series. But before we get into that, how did the think tank come together to create Yellow Pad Sessions? And why is it called Yellow Pad Sessions?
People always want to know. Well, it's kind of funny. I mean, you talk about being artsy fartsy.
Yeah.
I have been called and named artsy fartsy my whole life. I'm like kind of like the artsy fartsy sheep in the family and all my friends. And for years, people always kind of meant it a little ironically. And for a while, I was like really upset. Like, what does that mean? What's wrong with being artsy fartsy? Now I've decided, you know what? I'm making a business out of it.
Yeah. Talk about.
I'm like gonna go all out. I'm gonna use art because I think that in society there's so many different ways of addressing things, and I'm coming from the angle of art. I feel that art is a super powerful tool. It tugs at your heart.
Right.
And when you go see a movie, regardless of what kind of movie, like if it pulls at you, there's something there, whether it's a documentary, live action, kids movie, we know that there's this subtext. There's a message. We just don't know it's being delivered. And I think that's very, very powerful because, it can go in good ways or bad ways.
Yeah.
So our organization, it's an arts organization. We said, you know what? We want to be on that side of the conversation that is optimistic. So before Optimista, we used to put on more traditional festivals. We're a young company. We just started in 2019.
Okay.
But then we had the pandemic. We had all kinds of things. So it's like, what that's like. So, but we put on something called the United Nations Association Film Festival. And a lot of the material came from a pool of movies that come in, from California. And we thought, okay, great. These are fantastic choices. They're always human rights stories, personal stories. That's what we were going after. But we said, you know what? The pandemic created so many different emotional feelings for everybody across the board, across the ages. We said, you know what? As a response to that, we're going to create something that's hopefully creates a little bit of hope somewhere in that conversation. Again, through the arts. We have our own kids in our 20s. A lot of the people we intern are in their 20s and 30s. We're just surrounded with people who felt especially isolated with despair and hopelessness, So we're like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? We want to be part of that thing where we give examples of resilience, of courage. So we don't mind. We're not shy from difficult conversations. I always tell my kids growing up, I always said, difficult conversations, that's a muscle.
Yeah.
You got to work at it. You got to work it out. You got to.
Because it's going to happen regardless.
Right. However, what tone are you going to take?
Right.
Are you going to choose the path of, hopelessness? Well, you know what? Screw that. I'm giving up. Or are you going to choose the path of, guess what? I'm going to talk about things that give other people hope. And that's the kind of responsibility we feel. I kind of feel like my generation is responsible for the next generation. So that's how we came up with Optimistic. But really quickly, Yellow Pad Sessions. I always, since I was an artsy-fartsy kid, I always doodled on yellow paper.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that that's what lawyers use when they get together to do a brainstorming session to solve an issue. They call it Yellow Pad Sessions. I'm like, okay, we're going to do that.
See, I love that. That's actually what I thought of when I first read it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's exactly what I thought of.
Oh,
well,
cool.
Shara is a smart part of our duo here with her English literature. So of course she'll know what the yellow patch says to me. Me, I'm there thinking about. For some reason, I'm thinking about. I hear pads. I'm thinking about animals and dog pads. I'm like, how's it correlate?
But what I do like about it is it kind of gives a sense of unfinished brainstorming, still working at it, which I really like. It gives that kind of tone, that feeling. Yeah. So that's
well, and that's
really
a really
cool.
good point because we don't claim to have any answers.
Right.
When we show these people that come in from out of town to talk, the films, we're not saying this is your answer. Here's your Bible to hope and good luck.
Yes.
We're just saying these are voices. It's a platform. These are voices that give their perspective on those issues and those themes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why when we were curating and collecting all this, the selection of different artists and stuff, we said, you know what, let's start with courage, because courage is a good way to start and get you going, kind of like a workout. You need a bit of courage to get up in the morning and exercise, at least for me. And then what's the tool? Compassion. Let's look at compassion. Why is compassion important? How can compassion actually be the thing that brings us together and say, you know what? You're human like I'm a human.
Yeah.
That's what we have in common. So let's use our hearts and our compassion. Then the third evening will be love in February. Okay. You gotta.
Love's gonna be good. It's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be cold.
Of course,
you're gonna want to, come in with your big woolly sweater and cozy up with us. And we're gonna be showing some great material too. We're gonna be showcasing Madame Joséphine Bacon, who's like the Innu poet of Quebec, and she just won the National Order of Quebec. She's
Look at that, yo, Yellow Pad gets everybody.
Well,
I think it's the elite and artsy fartsy event, but they still respond to a human answer, a human condition, human issues. So you get artsy fartsy and be like, I'm giving back to the world by going to an optimistic event as well. So it's beautiful.
Hope so. I hope people come and feel that they're a part of a discussion we can have together. Like we want you to meet the speakers personally. They're ready there to talk to you. If you have just anything you want to speak to them about. We want us to have a conversation after about the films. Like when you came for Writing with Fire, I did not know this, but a few people came up and said they came up to different people on our team. Some people were crying.
Yeah.
They were so moved and said, okay, what could we do? How could we become more aware?
Yeah, Ryan Fire was good.
It was a real moving movie, right?
I don't know, for those that don't know what Ryan Fire is, first of all, it's won Mad Awards. But it's about a group of Indian women, and India, there's different levels, or they call it caste, and these guys are like at the bottom of them. And on top of it, the Dallas, and on top of it, they're women, and they start their own journalism. They start their own paper, and how the movie starts, they're transitioning from not only going from paper to digital, but they also and it's dope to see them teach each other how to use a smartphone, teach each other how to become better reporters, and you see them go actively out there. Like there's a mining mafia in India, and even in politics, and you see them before and after, like going and getting these interviews as women laid on the train. And then on top of it, so like how it starts, you've seen all these things happen to them doing the work, and come to find out they have families. Wow. Come to find out they're going home to places with no lights, no running electricity, and like you think to yourself, like they always have to plug their phone, they always have the battery, like things we just take for granted. Man, it's women. It's a group of just beautiful, intelligent women just trying to push themselves, and it definitely changed it definitely had an impact on me.
You know that we'd invited them to come. We said, bring at least two people from your group, but
everybody wants to know.
Yeah, but no, it's not that. Unfortunately, the director said that they are being so oppressed right now, and they're being watched over every single move they make, that they feel that they cannot, that their lives are being threatened.
See that?
So they can't even leave, and they can't even they had to stop publicity of the movie. Ours was the last festival that they showed it at.
Look at that backstory.
Until further notice. Yeah.
Imagine that, just for them reporting on the truth.
Wow. Well, it goes to show you that, we don't know what other people live.
Yeah.
We just hear stuff in the news, but we don't know that, oh my God, it's like serious. It's life-threatening situations.
Yeah.
And so, that's why this platform for us is exciting. We can share these stories.
Yeah, and I was about to say that. I love the fact that you guys create these spaces where we can have these experiences and share these stories. So tomorrow, another we're in compassion mode. Let the people know where it's been done as well too, and how they can get the tickets to the event.
Okay, so great. It's actually at Maison de la Culture Verdun, called Quai 5160.
Bougie. It's bougie. I've never seen.
Right?
They've never let. Listen,
Right?
you on the Urban Morning Show, Grace. We gonna indoctrinate you this morning. They don't let black people do events there. I didn't even know what's available. No, for real, bro. I don't want to be racy on the morning show, but when I pulled up, I was like, obviously in the wrong place. You know, when you live in the city your whole life and you drive by these places and you never know that this thing exists. We drive by it all the time. It's off LaSalle Boulevard. And I went up in there and it was crazy.
Little posh, eh?
Yeah, even the reception part where we have the cocktails, we'll just take that. We don't even need the amphitheater. We'll just take that. You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing.
It's a lovely place, and you know what? They've been fantastic. They're welcoming, and but what I want to say is it starts. So the doors open at 7. Come on over at 7, not only to register and check in, but to say hello and start with a cocktail. It's always like fun, and then the show actually starts at 8, and then we're done by pretty much done by 10:30, quarter to 11. But then we have a nice cocktail after with lots of great stuff, live music. We have a web feed is our radio show, so we have live DJ performance. So it's a lot of fun. And
what I love about it is it's always action packed. So you have a keynote speaker, Nimat Sadat, the book The Carpet Weaver. I had all these notes ready for it. So The Carpet Weaver is such a controversial book because it's about gay love in Afghanistan, where it's banned. Even prior to the Taliban, you can come Russell Parkway, one of black novelists here. He makes a drama. So I want to talk about it because there's so many themes in Carpet Weaver. I want to urge everybody to read that as well. And to hear him talk about that, imagine he wrote a book that was so controversial, like people die for being gay or lesbian in his country, and he wrote a book about it. This incredible story. It's great.
Well, he had a number of death threats.
For sure.
He was constantly on the run. And there was a fatwa named against him. Fatwa, so a death, and very courageously he fled and he left. He was a professor at the American University in Afghanistan.
Imagine that.
So he was kind of like high profile. People knew about him. But he fled, and he's now in the United States. But he's a very strong LGBTQ advocate. He'll be here. He'll talk to us and give us the context of what's the reality of queer life in the Middle East. And his story parallels that of the protagonist in the movie we're showing called Flee. Same story. Afghan man has to flee, his trials and tribulations, how he gets to Denmark, and then eventually he gets to Denmark, and his best friend, for years he doesn't tell anybody his real identity. Even today in the movie, he's animated. He cannot show himself. So we asked him to come, and because he doesn't want to show himself publicly, he said, he sent us a message. And the director sent us a message. So when you come to the festival, you'll get a message directly from Johan.
Listen, let me tell you this. Let me tell you, Optimista.
Wow.
Yellow
So,
Pad session.
What's the 4th part of the series? What comes after love?
Okay, so
you got stuck on love.
You know what?
We gotta go to commercial. We got Desta coming up. Russell Parkway. I'm trying to solve the code. He writes real 24 stories.
Should I tell? Should I say?
Yeah. For sure.
It's, you know what? Okay, so after we've looked at courage, compassion, and love, what's better than bringing it all together with community?
I thought it was gonna be toxic.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a kick-ass day. Really, I'm not kidding. It's like, first of all, our friend Duke Eatman, everybody knows Duke.
Yes.
He's actually our keynote speaker because he's going to be showing us the history of Black music up until the Harlem Festival, music festival that took place in 1969 that nobody really paid attention to. Why? Because there was Woodstock going on.
Right.
So the entire summer, almost different various Sundays, they had people like Stevie Wonder. Everybody was there. And nobody paid attention to them. And somehow it was captured on film, and that footage was lost up until recently. And so Questlove,
Yes.
The Questlove.
Yeah. I saw parts of that actually.
Yeah.
I've got to go back and watch the
Oh
whole
my!
thing.
No, wait till March 4th. Wait, you got to come March 4th.
That's mad far. You guys giving away too much secret. Listen,
Yeah.
Grace, let the people know how could they follow Yellow Pad Sessions tomorrow. Compassion,
Yes.
great event. Please come out. So give your social media.
Yeah. So the first thing you can do, which is the easiest, you can go on Instagram under Optimista MTL. There's a website where you get all the tickets, synopses, all the information with the complete season. That's optimistamtl.com. I'm going to spell that because everyone's like, what is that? OPTIMISTA
Anyways, there's something yellow in the circle.
Yeah, well, it's the idea is that we're all united, different people, different backgrounds, and we come full circle.
Artsy fartsy. I'm telling you what's going on.
More artsy fartsy. Beautiful.
So we're going to go into the Guardian mix. I'm going to play, I guess, only 2 songs. Then after we, oh boy, all the ladies are in the building. We have the elites. Oh, I got to press pause on this. Keep it locked, Montreal. After the musical break of 2 songs, because I got to give room for Russell Parkway, we got 2 of the most pivotal black females in the country. Let me tell you something. If you don't know about Cassandra and Agape, you're in the wrong place. These are the best of Toronto, Montreal, cultural leaders. These ladies are doing big things. They had a graduation for some of their film students on Tuesday. It's a beautiful thing, man. I'm telling you. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? All my days are mixed up. I have something 2 days. I ain't worried about that. I'm going to play you guys 2 songs off the new Wizkid. And then we're going to come back with them. You know how we're doing things. The Morning Detour.
There's only one more chaser. Nobody's this hyped necessarily. They say I'm on drugs. Our only drug is hip-hop. We love this life. It's the Morning Detour on the mighty CKUT 90.3 FM.
La STM vous souhaite la bienvenue à bord.
Lose yourself to the rhythm one time. Damn it, baby, you got beat. No fighting. I'm not looking for your love. I'm honest. I just want a piece of that. Yeah. I don't need your love. I just want your body pulling on me. If I deal with you, I just want your body pulling on me. Ignite it, I'm gonna put it deep, yeah. Don't fight it, I'm gonna put it deep, yeah. I know, see the baby make me feel alright. See the girl make me go all night. I think that they feel too nice. See now you got one, baby, make it hold on. Make you tell me what's in there, man. Can I go ride for you, ride for me, baby? Get the girls and they dance to my music. Touch your body, make a movie tonight. I don't need your love. I just want your body pulling on me. Touch your body, make a movie tonight. If I get with you, I just want your body.
Yo, creep. Oh, we shot a head half. Take them blood and the chop of them tag. Swat the chop of them tag. A real gunshot and never clap as them tag. Make you want red and make a head a shell half. This king digging and I'm on a dead tag. No safety, me make the chica press tag. It's head anyway, the killer them
I'm loving on your dress tonight. I they in love with your sexiness. I'm loving on that perky breast. Don't deny what you feel tonight. Say it's a gangster party, I'm a gangster girl. And if we end up for your place tonight, many talk to the full basket. And I go fuck you till the morning time. No. Give me the thing I go in dumb like whoa. I need somebody that blow my mind. Make we shoot bad, and we're loving. No long talk with the sex, I feel good. When it be long, baby girl, I choose you. 24 days with the fuck with no breaks, like.
We're not in on a long talk. Come let me put it on you. Wait, flip it and slide.
The way you whine, I'm gonna get, I swear, got me lazy. Make me feel like crazy.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Hey, I got the right one this morning. Oh yeah, they can't hear the instrumental in the back. Good morning, Montreal. 8:30 in the morning, boy. We up against it this morning. We even do community updates or not. How do you even introduce these two ladies right here? Look at Shahara. So you guys don't know, me and Shahara, we have our Toxic Christmas album coming out. It's called Under the Mistletoe, Life in Times of Toxicity.
In time for your favorite holiday, right?
The reason we say it is because, Shahara's brand's always been wholesome. She's like the girl next door. It's in her bio. So I want to show the dark side of her during the holidays because I'm an anti-Christmas person. So let's get down to it. We have two elite black ladies. We had to squeeze them on the show. We had to move some things around. If you don't know, I was on her IG the other day. If you don't know, her last picture was with Obama. And the one before that was with Trudeau. So she's in certain rooms, apparently. So we have Agapi, whose last name I cannot say. It's like she's an Italian mob member, Giuseppe. I don't know what's going on. She's executive director for the Center for Young Black Professionals. And I met a new friend on Tuesday or whatever Wednesday, Snowstorm Day, as we call it now, as we now call it. Cassandra went to École Études, HEC? Haute Études Commerciales. Haute Études Commerciales. You know how smart you got to be to graduate from that? My dad graduated from that. They only say bankers' kids go there. I'm like, hell, Cassandra's LinkedIn is lit. But for those that don't know, Cassandra is also the executive director for DESTA. DESTA is one of two actually black organizations in Montreal that I like to say actually does work. So kudos to you ladies. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Y'all came matching. It's like a Dr. Seuss book in here this morning. It's the black pen.
It's really crazy. I feel like the mustard's like the black version of Power Blue. You know what I mean? It's just our color. You know?
You guys are going up. And you guys with that soft instrumental. So before we play some games with you guys, I feel like every time I see you guys on interviews, you guys are always so serious. So I said, let me have some fun with you guys. Let's get to know y'all business a little bit. We a black morning show, but it's not too intrusive. Okay. But before you get into all that, you guys did something great for the kids over the weekend. Not over the weekend, on Wednesday. It was a graduation. So the C Center. So I don't know if I got to let people know what your program was initially, and how you guys got with Desta and with the beautiful creations you guys created together. It was Introduction to Production. Yeah. You guys took some young black professionals and brought them in different facets of creating a film. They did a short scene together. It was so on Wednesday, it was a celebration of the graduates from the inaugural Introduction to Production program produced by Desta and C and Mayfield. So y'all got the majors that work with y'all, huh?
You got it.
Well, when you're in pictures with Obama and Trudeau, I guess it's different when Agapi calls you.
We got to do it big, right? Yeah, exactly.
Let me get your bio here, Agapi, because I like mentioning every time I have you on. Every time I have you on, Agapi Giuseppe is an award-winning, powerful, influential, and fearless changemaker. Named 2020 top black woman to watch in Canada.
Nice.
I'm watching. I need to cut this out and put it on my website. Like, this needs to be the intro when people show up. You make it sound sweet.
Listen, I charge a minimal fee. I'm trying to get optimistic to book some voiceover work. Okay. Yellow Pad Sessions, holla at us.
I got you.
Real quick, because I want to get some games with you guys going here. Introduction to Production. Yeah. How did it go from seeing Toronto, Montreal? We don't normally work with each other. We're like Philly and New York. We cousins, but we don't like to get together at holidays. I don't know what's going on.
Well, C Center for Young Black Professionals, we focus on workforce development. So basically, bottom line, how are we going to get Black youth from the back of the unemployment line to the front? Mm-hmm. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is looking at where there are labor gaps in the Canadian market and then finding niche places for us to train them. Because if they have the skill and there's a labor gap, they have to jump to the front. Like industries need them. And so we have been doing that type of work. This year's our 10th year anniversary, doing that in Toronto. And we thought we want to be able to expand because the reality is not every Black youth is going to come through C's doors. So we started to look around the country and see who shares the same values as us. So,
few of us.
Yeah. If we're talking about actual work, we're looking and seeing who's doing the work in a real way, and workforce development, economic development for Black youth specifically, and DESTA just matched up and aligned with our values, like through and through. We have this, we use this African proverb of Ubuntu, I am because you are.
Yeah.
And
I be learning stuff at the events, you know. I be trying to teach that too. I'm gonna take that soundbite, say it one more time to make sure we get it clear. Says, let's put a pause in the instrumental real quick. I'm keeping all of y'all audio. Cassandra ain't even talk yet. Cassandra's voice nice too. Right. I'm keeping everybody's audio. Her and her MBA. I hate doing radio. I'm around too many smart Black women. It's so horrible.
So we ended up going to, the reality is sometimes you gotta, in order to get other people on board, you gotta have a proof of concept. So Cassandra and I approached the NBA Foundation. Yes, the people who do the basketball, everyone's like, who's that? I'm like,
National Basketball Association.
And so we were the first organizations to receive the NBA Foundation funding in Canada. And yeah, we decided that we're going to start with entertainment because in Quebec specifically, everything is unionized. Just a little bit of context. And all of the unions came on board. Like it's very hard to get unions to say, yeah, we're going to get behind this. Every single one of them got behind us and said they were going to do this. And you know, the fruits of our labor were so said, so done Wednesday. It was not easy getting there. But Cassandra, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
So Cassandra, let me throw it to you with your MBA. For those who don't know, Cassandra is executive director of DESTA. I got the sweet chill vibes in the back. It feels like, I mean, you might need a 4-hour show this morning. So Cassandra, let me throw it on to you here. What were some of the challenges putting this introduction to production together?
Well, you know, for DESTA, we've been doing employability work with the Black community for 15 years. You know, our goal is really to help the community overcome barriers. So we're working with Black people, we're working with Anglophone people in Montreal. So it's, you know, a double minority. It's like more barriers to overcome. We've been doing this work, but we had never ventured into the entertainment industry. So, you know, when Agapi and I first spoke, I was like, well, you know, I'm not sure we're the best organization to partner with, but it sounds great, your project, you know? And we had this podcast project, you know, that was being developed. I'm like, you know, we could maybe put this podcast in there. NBA was like, no, you know, we really want the production program.
We don't create something from scratch.
So I think that was the most challenging thing is just, you know, not having the networks, not having ventured into that industry before, not even knowing how much of a need there was. Like when we started doing the work, like she said, all of the unions were open. They were like, yes, we need this. We need diversity.
Yeah, I'm in the next one. I'm in the next one. For those that don't know, there'll be a camera for me. Listen, I'll hold the lights. I'll be a gopher. I like to be the sound guy. Let me do something.
You're saying lighting again?
Yeah, I'll do lighting. Listen, give me a skill. I just want to be on set. Give me a skill.
Yeah. Well, that's the goal, is really to give people an in, right? Like that's the work that we do at DESTA. We really want to open the way, open the path, because that's really what the community is missing. We're missing the networks. We're missing those, you know, that hand to help you.
See that? They're doing real work. DESTA and SELA coming together. The best of Toronto, the best of Montreal coming together. Now, you ladies, I've seen you guys on national television. I've seen you guys, everybody. There's always some serious conversation, and listen, we're gonna have you guys back. Like Agapi, I'm gonna come to Toronto. I'm gonna do all the shows. I'll come to the sea. You know what I mean? I feel so small going to see a young Black professional. I feel like I'm like one of those guys, one of those young guys in high school with a mixtape. I'm like, I'm gonna come to Howard Stern of Canada. I'm gonna get there. You are. And then after, I forgot. See, I've been forgetting Cassandra's name here. Look at you. Every time I showed her the game, she's dying to get the game going. She's like, these questions are lit. Watch her face. The Shahara's ready. Cassandra's going to come back. That's they have a culinary thing going on. You know, I want to start my Cooking with Jacques series. So we're going to get Desta back on. We're going to get scheduled sometime in December. I know you guys have all the great things going on. And,
we have a lot going on.
And I want to get an update on that podcast from prison, which we had mentioned before. Shout out to everybody locked down. I know y'all waiting for the gun shooter music. It's coming a little bit after 8:30. Right between Dumb and Russell Park. I'll play a 1-2 tune. We'll skip away to some Nas. So we don't often get to know you guys. You know, more person was like, I get you guys know a little bit. Not too much in your business, nothing like that. But let's have some fun with you guys, because you guys are always so serious on interviews. And I feel like nobody ever plays games with you guys.
Okay, let's play a game. Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what Shahara. So Shahara, so Shahara.
I'm a question picker.
Yeah, you're the question picker. So we have She has everything. She has icebreakers. She has this or that.
I think that's best.
What? Icebreakers?
That she chose. Yeah.
Well, I have it here in front of me. I
got you, ladies.
Okay, so we have a few minutes because we have Russell Parker coming up next. Black author. Everybody's waiting for Jam Run. Forget the meter code. When's Jam Run dropping? But let's have some fun. So we have Cassandra, executive director of DESTA. And we have Agapi, executive director of the C Center for Young Black Professionals. So they're all smarter than me. So let's get that going. So let's get into it.
Okay. So am I asking the same question to both of the ladies, or am I giving them their own question?
Listen, you have 7 minutes. Mix it. Let me give you. Hold on. Let me get some Drake in the back here. Let me get some. Do I even? Okay, no. We'll hit him with some Forever right now. All right, let's go.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with you, Cassandra.
Okay.
If you had a theme song, girl.
If I had
a theme song, what would it be?
Wow. Theme song. Okay. Man, I can't even think of songs right now.
What's that song that gets you hype?
That gets me hype.
Yeah.
Wow.
You wanna, let me ask the real questions, bro.
I can't even think of a theme song right now.
See, they saw me the other day. I was kind of scruffy. They didn't know the weed. Yo, when I knew artsy fartsy Grace was coming in the building, yellow patches. We gonna get lined up by Cowboy. And Cowboy, my barber, told me, shout out to God and Allah, whoever your denomination is. He's like, you gotta thank God too for your blessings. Cassandra, are you a sage burner? We're also looking for
Am I a sage burner?
Yeah. Are you a Solange enthusiast?
We actually have a few sage burners at Vesta. I'm not gonna name names, but yes.
Name names.
I'm a sage
Princess?
burner. No, I'm not gonna call out the name. But it's not Princess.
Do women, when you guys are going through a rough time, not necessarily with him, just in life, it's hard being a black woman, a black professional. Are y'all still turning the lights low? Not just Sarah. Let's go to the next question.
We're not lighting candles in our bathtubs, but yeah.
I didn't know until I went to Michael's that one time that they sold that tray by Grace, that they sold that tray that you guys could lay down when you guys in the bathtub, put the cheese and the wine. And then I dated the chick that did like, oh, you really gonna do that? I thought they did that in movies.
I don't do that. I'm a shower girl. Yeah, the way my bath is set up.
Yeah, Agapi got that townhouse in Brampton. she got a little brownstone.
I do not live in Brampton, number one.
Agapi don't even go to Yorkdale Mall. She's like, that's below me.
No.
she's like, I'm at the town center.
No, you know what?
Give us one fan. Do you talk with the Toronto Ebonics sometimes? Like when you're just amongst your friends? Like,
of course I do. Listen,
you're a liar. You're a national speaker. You spoke for CNN. Don't even pull out the full bio.
No, but
do you say fireman man's them?
Of course I do.
When you go to Dixie Mall, right?
I work with all black people. I work for I'm very much.
When does the real Torontonian in you come out? I've never seen it in an interview. So you say fireman thing like that?
I'm not gonna say that. Breakfast. They're gonna be like, sorry, can you translate that for us? No, but
Toronto Town Center, Agapi.
I grew up in Toronto community housing. I literally come from the hood. This is not.
Shara, give her a hard one, Shara.
I'm trying. I'm looking for one. This is an interesting one. If you could pick between a second chance at love or a second chance for your career.
You're gonna get in trouble. I wouldn't take it. However you answer that question,
do we have any sage in the building? Can we light it up?
You got me sweating on my fresh outline. I thought this oil was supposed to hold everything in place.
Listen, okay, so the way I'm gonna answer that, I could have taken the theme song.
Okay.
But this is my purpose in life, so I'm not gonna do a redo on my purpose, or I can't do a redo on my purpose.
Right.
So no second chance on career, but I definitely feel like from a love thing, I feel like there are some blanks that I probably shouldn't have given time, energy, space.
You met him in Mississauga. You think everybody in Mississauga is good? She saw him at square one. He was coming out at Tiffany and Co. You're like, okay, he's somebody. She's like, I'm a pillar of my community. One more question, because I got this is too much, man. It's too much, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Start, hit Cassandra with her NBA with one more. Executive Director.
Okay.
That's the Black Youth Network.
We actually changed our name to Black Community Network.
Well, listen, thank you for the update.
Yes.
Cassandra
we're
will be
expanding
back.
the age.
Yeah, listen, Cassandra's my new friend. Cassandra will be back. I need deeper roots with that stuff.
We have a lot going on at Desta, so yeah, I'd love to share. Actually, we have an event coming on Sunday, Black Joy Sundays.
Is that
for
a
the
church
Black
event?
community? It sounds like it, right? But
Yeah, I like
it kind
church.
of is. It kind of is. It's wellness.
Okay, so we'll give you guys one last one.
Ooh.
Let's see, y'all gonna have me pulling it up. Don't make me pull it up. I picked the worst ones.
Yeah. Ooh. These questions are interesting. Okay.
Well, don't read them and just say them.
Woo. Okay. Yeah, I know.
Because there's a lot of them. Shout out to the Morning Detour, CKT 90.3 FM. Coming up next, Black Author, Russell Parkway. The Meter Code, Chill Run, Jam Run, we're waiting for it.
I don't know. These questions are.
You got to pick one.
I know. I'm trying to pick one.
Pick that one at your fingers off. Pick that one right there.
Boy.
Pick that one right there.
Okay.
So,
He does not care. He's like just.
Yeah. Okay. If I'm gonna ask the one that my thumb fell on right now, it would be, what weird thing would you make socially acceptable if you could?
Cassandra.
What weird thing?
Yeah.
Oh wow, there's a lot. I've always been labeled weird. I grew up being labeled weird. So I mean, I'm into, traditional spirituality, traditional culture. Those are things that are, modern society doesn't honor or respect those things at all. So yeah, I mean, if we could make that the norm, we would have a completely different society. We'd have a society based on respect, so yeah, for me, yeah, definitely, going back to traditions, going back to culture and real, like the origins of everything, the origins of spirituality, the origins of even language, the way we communicate, all of those things are just completely lost to the society. So,
Oh man.
That's another.
Cassandra's like, listen, man, Mobby should be drank every morning. You know what I mean? Every 18 remedy that my grandmother told me should be right. I ain't even gonna ask you guys to make the best rights. I gotta play 2 songs to get Russell Parkway in here. Agape, real quick before we go here. What is something that you are obsessed with?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. CTV's gonna go back and take clips from this one. This one is jamming you.
I will not get canceled on your watch.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. What am I obsessed with? Right now, in this current moment, I feel, something real. Okay, have you guys watched Love is Blind?
Yeah, it's horrible.
I have not.
Okay, like that, shamefully, that's what I've been
last
watching.
one, you've been watching the last
with
one?
my man with the come on, be real with yourself.
You watched the last one, the newest one that they have on Netflix?
Yeah,
there?
that's what I've been watching. Shamefully.
Oh boy, when the guy told her, "Are you bipolar?"
Oh, it would have been a wrap.
Any black woman, I watched it with a black woman, and I felt the energy in the room. So, and you know what's worse? When you're a man, you watch those. God, we don't have enough time in the morning. Louise, I need 4 hours. Real quick, when you watch those kind of love reality shows with your partner, it's really her just trying to see, like, okay, what's he reacting to? Oh, you like that?
Of course.
Are you?
Me and
Don't
learn about.
I be watching the other one there, the Spanish one there with the lie detector. There's a lie detector one too on Netflix, and I can feel the engine room shift. You can't watch. You cannot watch reality dating shows with your partner. It's not safe. Love is Blind. The whole concept is messed up because how do we go from talking in parts? I get okay, cool. I want to connect you on an emotional level, on a talking level. Cool, I hear that. But how do we go from that to just get married?
Like 4 weeks later? No, it's not Love is Blind. It's can I marry you in 4 weeks?
My African king was like, listen, you don't want to travel across state to Berkeley? Okay, I got you.
No.
She's like, I got you. So we're gonna get married, and your parents aren't gonna come. Like, I'm good on you. I'm good on you.
I'm good.
Montreal, my city, keep it locked. It's the Morning Detour. Agape, just Essie. Executive Director of the C Center, and of Cassandra, Executive Director of Desta. You guys are great. Listen, y'all gotta come back and play some more games.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this is
Okay, now I gotta play. Okay, I gotta play this now here. Let's play some local talent, Viva La Ver, and we also have sales. Oh, if I could get to it here. Madness. You guys are crazy in the morning.
Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Montreal, my city. Montreal, my city. Local talent, Viva La Blur. This song's called Dreaming. You know how we do things. It's the Morning Detour, the mighty CKT 9.3 FM. Coming up next, Russell Parkway.
I lead you to another world. I make you understand. You never need another girl. The way you feel inside your body, we can't hold back, we can't fight it. Lose my mind when I'm with you. Baby, let's do what we've been trying to do. See when you walk in the room, you don't even have to ask me what it. If me want the fuck, then me make sure you got it. You never know, say you working tonight. Can't like me bad, me not easy. Oh, me like dating on your hand, that is crazy. It's like I'm dreaming. Pussy ain't jiggle and shake on me, it's like I'm dreaming.
It's never on me, you know what it be. We did it official. I'm here with a team, we rockin' it clean. Now I blow the whistle. We live in a dream, there's no superficial. You know what it means, Tonight we party. So official. Tonight we party. So official. When it's a team, you know what it be. Put it all on the line, let's play for keeps like we gon' win. Might touch the ground, but I won't drown, cause I can swim. I got my brothers with me riding, we stay flexing in the gym. Got a team that never falls, we gotta iron out the creases, it's not a maybe. We stay grinding daily, motivated, passionate with some action, that's what actually pays me. Every day is push-ups, have you been writing lately? Always in you, always in the club, like with your discipline. HLR I represent, cause I'm the captain, still putting laps in, facts in, master, 20 plus been rapping, clever with the words, don't go unheard because I tap in, downloads, I get it from the source of satisfaction. Already heard you spit, I know you lacking, offbeat, rhyming off me just by a fraction, teacher of my craft, I own it like I'm a patent, Montreal if you ask. When it's a team, it's never a me, you know what it be, we did it official.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
The Montreal International Documentary Festival is celebrating its 25th edition, a unique opportunity to enjoy the best documentary films from all around the world.
This fall, the RIDM returns exclusively to theaters and venues with screenings, festivities, and much more.
See you from November 17th to the 27th.
Discover the full program at ridm.ca.
The RIDM, where all stories meet.
Pick up the tree, decorate the tree, make a gift list, invite the in-laws, drop off the canned goods, find that fruitcake recipe for the office party, plan the dinner for Christmas Eve, decorate the house, hang the stockings, wrap the presents, ask Lucas to clean up his room, do the groceries, bake cookies. Right. Go get vaccinated.
The holidays are fast approaching. Get vaccinated against COVID-19 now so you'll be protected in time. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
The Morning Detour on CKUT 90.3 FM.
Montreal, my city. Oh. You know how we're doing things. singer-songwriter, Shahara, co-hosting this morning. You know how we doing? Oh, let me tell you something. This next guy, he's the modern-day Chevalier. He's the modern-day Chevalier. Have you read his bio? He's the avid Renaissance man. He plays the violin, the piano, the viola. I don't know what the viola is. The bassoon. Yo, he sounds like a Drake character. You know Drake be shining on things we don't even know what they exist. He even plays the electric bass guitar while he was in high school. We have Russell Brooks, Russell Parkway. I don't know who's the real Russell. That's what we should call the interview. He's the author of books. He's giving you Ridley Fox, Nita Paris series. He gave you Chill Run. He gave you the Eddie Barrow Mystery series. He gave you the Demeter Code, the Unsavory Delicacies, Pandora Succession. We are waiting for the upcoming 2023. He can give you that jam run. Mr. Black Pen himself, Russell Brooks in the building. How you doing, King?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Listen, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. You write books.
Yes.
You write books. Your mind is so crazy. I feel like the Demeter Code should be a movie. It's just as good as 24. I want to run through it. I'll run through it with you. Beautiful education. You attended Indiana University in Bloomington. What's that going to, that's Bobby Knight School.
Yes, it is. And I was there on a track and field scholarship.
Will you run fast?
Yes, I did in the past. And
that knee's gone, huh?
Miss Shahara could testify to that because we went to high school together.
We did.
We
see that, Maggie? The episodes come full circle. I tell you, Maggie's gifted as a program director. She like the Magic Johnson of producing. Her first year out, she's winning championships. So you went to Indiana University, which means you're really smart. Oh, look at that. You graduated with a bachelor's in biology and a minor in psychology. Who are you? The Petri dish? Like who are you?
Well,
man of many talents.
You could have been he could have been a forensic coroner or something.
Absolutely.
Like you could have been the medical chief of Indiana.
Well, I could have been those things. I could have my main goal was to go to the Olympics and represent Canada in the 100 and the 200 meters and even the 4x100 meter relay. But as luck may have it, I was constantly riddled with injuries, and eventually in 2007, I had no choice but to retire. First of all, it was lack of funding. It's very, very difficult trying to get a sponsor.
Yeah, Kellogg's ain't giving everybody money.
And even though I was on the Canadian team for the World University Games in Spain, and that wasn't enough. So I couldn't get a sponsor. And
yeah, Russell's still vexed though. Russell, it's the Morning Detour. You could be yourself. You could be mad. You didn't make it. You could be mad. Who cares about that? You've written great books. 2010, you gave us Pandora Succession. 2011, you gave us Unsavory Delicacies. And the most notably one up to date, man, the Demeter Code 2014. In the Demeter Code, let me give you people a little synopsis. When two American embassies in Northern Africa are bombed, CIA operatives Ridley Fox and Nita Paris are assigned to track down the perpetrators. However, when their top asset is killed in a field op, the agent suspects that there may be a new threat. Now, I'm always amazed by authors. Shout out to our Black Pen episode. How do you even come up with this world? Because for those people that don't know, J.K. Rowling is a woman that wrote Harry Potter. She wrote and then she died on napkins. And I'm always amazed by you authors and creators. Where do you start in terms of creating this world? Okay, so when you created Demeter Code, we use that as an example.
Okay, well,
how did you come up into that? Like, okay, I know you have an affinity for African American studies. I knew there was gonna be some African CIA base somewhere.
Yep.
But how did you know? Okay, I'm gonna create this protagonist, which is Ridley Fox, and I have Nita Paris. Like, where did that idea come from?
Well, the Demeter Code, as you know, is the third book in the Ridley Fox Nita Paris series. Mm-hmm. And when I come up with an idea, I always write down my ideas on index cards. And if I don't have index cards, well, recently, now this beautiful piece of technology, I can voice record myself and then write down the notes later on. So my index cards serve as the skeleton. And I just write down my ideas and then eventually put them together with chapters, scenes. There's always a 3-act process, just like in the movies.
Yeah.
So act 1, act 2, act 3, there has to be a bridge between all 3 of them. And once I have that together, then I can start writing. Well, I don't write anymore. I type.
What do you type?
Nowadays we have laptops, and that's what I use.
I met Russell. I met Russell Brooks at an Optimist event. I met him at Courage. The first time I met him at Courage. And how do you? And I remember asking you this then, but I want you. I want to listen to here on Cypher Yard. How do you know you have that right story, like the plot? How do you know? Because a lot of us, a lot of us have great ideas. You might think to yourself, this might be the one, right? When you put that on paper, when you share it with other people, them are like, how in love do you get with your plot? And how do you know it's a good plot?
Well, normally I sometimes, like when I wrote the Demeter Code, the first draft, like I didn't even get past the first 2 chapters before I realized, threw that out, and I tried again. So sometimes you just have to keep on trying until finally you hit the right one, and you stick
just
with
know
it.
you feel it.
Yes, you just know you feel
But
it.
is that hard to throw out that you done went 2 chapters in? Is it hard for because I think a lot of people have a lot of ego about what they're trying to create. It's like, it should be good the first time. Everybody's not Jay-Z in the booth.
It's not like that. Your ideas will evolve over time, and the thing is, the trick is, well, the whole point is just to keep on writing, and you may write something, it may not work the first time, you try again. Okay? It's like, as I say, as I often tell people, Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm sure, look at the Champlain Bridge. Okay? The first Champlain Bridge, not such a good idea. And then they had to rebuild a new one. And I recall there were mistakes that they made. There was a misalignment with one of the overpasses over Nuns Island. So, there is going to be roadblocks, and you're going to have to try again until you realize that, okay, this works. And I know I didn't come here to talk about Jam Run, but boy, did that take a long time for me to get right.
No, we can talk about. Look, listen, we have no agenda. We can talk about anything you want. I know Shahara.
Yeah, I actually have a question for you. Sure. So I think it's really interesting, your process that you put, these ideas together with your index cards. But I'm curious, do you actually know the story from beginning to end before you sit down and you start writing? Or sometimes as you're writing, does the story develop on its own, kind of like get a life of its own? Or do you ever change the ending that you originally thought you were going to use, and then it kind of just writes itself? Does that happen?
No, yep, that's happened. That's exactly what happens. Normally, I know what happens in the beginning, and I know how the story ends. It's the middle. Getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, the climax, right? So I guess the climax, like what's going to be the change between this and that, right?
Yeah, that's the most challenging part. And I recall, it's interesting you bring that up, because when I wrote Pandora's Succession, the first ending I had
didn't work anymore, right?
Yeah, I always thought something was missing. It didn't seem right, and I spent many sleepless nights trying to figure out the right one. And sometimes things just pop up, and it just happened. I was asleep, and I had a dream, and I dreamed the correct ending. I woke up right away. I got up, and where's my index? Because we didn't have
the smartphones yet
back then, so I had to find a piece of paper. Oh, the pen didn't write, so I have to find another pen, and before I forget.
That happens to me all the time.
And then I finally go, okay,
I can
good.
so relate.
I wrote it down, and then, okay, now I can write this, write the ending that I wanted. And the ending that's in Pandora's Succession right now, that was not the original ending, but this is the ending that I like.
Wow.
And I said it works.
That's awesome.
It ends with the punch, the punch that it needs, and it sets it up for the sequel.
So let me go into the madness. 2023, we're all waiting for Jam Run. So I know there was Chill Run. Is there one before Chill Run that?
No, Chill Run is the first book in the Eddie Barrow series, and the idea for Chill Run came,
Who's Eddie Barrow? Who's this guy now? I'm just trying to get used to Ridley Fox. Now are all these characters black?
No, not all of them are black. Okay. When I wrote, the truth is, when I created Ridley Fox and Nita Paris, I was thinking to myself, okay, look, yes, I could have 2 black protagonists who are CIA operatives, but you have to remember, back then when I was starting out to write, I had some doubts. I said, well, look, would my audience actually accept, 2 black CIA operatives? And also, I have to consider the fact that, okay, they're going to Russia. Oh, there are scenes that take place in Russia. If Ridley Fox needs to be going, let's say, under, pretend to be someone else, okay, spying in Russia, okay, and he has to be Russian. Well, if he's black, how many people would accept that? Would even the bad guys accept that he's a Russian? You know, there is that doubt there. So I decided, okay, look, I can have, I can go the Shonda Rhimes route where you have a diverse cast, and that's what I decided to do. And as it turns out, Ridley Fox was very well accepted. When I read the reviews, yes, Ridley Fox is very well accepted, especially among the women. Okay, my weakness was, okay, look, I thought that Dr. Nita Paris, okay, a black woman with 2 PhDs, who is a scientist, okay, has a PhD in microbiology and biochemistry, who actually assists Ridley Fox in trying to destroy this bioweapon. Okay, well, actually, a prehistoric microbe that has been weaponized. Okay, then in this case here, okay, I thought that she would be more appealing to women, but no, it wasn't the case. And when I spoke to some of my friends and said, well, look, women gravitate more towards men. Okay, some women may have been intimidated by Nita Paris, and that may have been it.
The 2 degrees.
But then there are some people. I know one reviewer said, okay, she didn't quite connect with Nita Paris. Her character was not well developed. Okay, she's from Barbados, and she's very brilliant. She used to run track, so she's very athletic, and she had a scholarship to the United States, and she was recruited by the CIA as a top scientist, working for the Office of Science and Technology, and then eventually she has, I'm not going to go through the whole biography.
No, you can't. You can't give it to her. But I want to talk about this real quick before we go, because I want to hype it up, because I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
So Jamron comes out next year.
Yes.
Second installment in your Eddie Barrow. So Eddie Barrow is black or white?
Yes, Eddie Barrow is black.
Okay, so Eddie Barrow mystery series. So Chill Run.
Yes.
So just give me a quick taste of what Chill Run is about, and then what can we expect about Jamron?
Okay, well, if I were to pitch Chill Run to you. Yeah,
it's set in the West Indies?
Yeah, no, it's actually set here in Montreal. Well, just imagine, that you work hard for something and you just can't get it, and you're so desperate to get the attention of the right people, you're willing to engage yourself in a publicity stunt, which involves an S&M, okay, to be caught deliberately so that you can raise your social profile. However, everything backfires when your mark gets killed right in front of you and you're framed for the murder. So right now, Eddie Barrow. Yes. So yeah, Eddie Barrow and his friends came up with this crazy idea of a publicity stunt, which ultimately backfires when someone gets killed and Eddie's framed for the murder. So right now, in the coldest winter in Quebec, Eddie Barrow and his friends have no choice, but they're on the run, not only from the police, but from the actual killers. And Eddie's only, the only thing that Eddie can do and his friends can do is solve the murder themselves before they're captured.
Well, look at that. See, y'all wanted the likes, huh? So what happens in Jam Run? What's going on in Jam Run?
Okay, well, in Jam Run, obviously, Eddie Barrow and his friends, his best friend Corey Stevenson, they clear their names. So right now, Eddie Barrow is actually, in Chill Run, he was a struggling author trying to get the attention of a publisher. So that's why they engaged in the publicity stunt, because the fact is that publishers nowadays, they don't care about your talent, okay? They just care about the money that you can bring them, okay? And I know we don't have a lot of time, so that's a totally different conversation.
But you don't come back when we do Jam Run. I feel like all your books, I should do the audio version of it. I should do all the
I'm allergic to Eddie.
He's like, why are you allergic to Eddie? What did Eddie do to you? Eddie was just struggling. He's trying to shine.
I'm like, the more you talk about him, the more I'm sneezing. Something's happening.
Russell Parker, before you go, man, let the people know how they can consume your thing. I know your books are available on Amazon. Let the people know how they can connect with you, how they can support you. You have about Jam Run's gonna be your 5th book.
Yep, it's gonna be my 5th novel.
Congratulations to you. Some people can't get the 1 off. You got 5 off.
Yeah.
That's good luck.
Yeah, good for you.
So you can find me. My website is russellparkway.com. And regarding Jam Run, I do have a GoFundMe fundraiser because I'm trying to raise the funds to help me offset the cost of publishing because I'm an independent author.
Yeah.
And I have my own team of editors and book cover designers and book promoters as well who are assisting me. So I have my own team,
Look
which
at
is
that.
spread out, not just here in Montreal, but my graphic cover designer, he's in New Zealand. My editor, she's in Calgary. She's in Alberta. I can't remember if it's Calgary or Edmonton. She may have bounced back between both towns. And my formatter for ebooks and paperback, she is in New Mexico. So, and what's important to mention is that I had so much help with Jamrun. I actually consulted with actual professionals who live in Jamaica to help me fact check the content to make sure that it doesn't come across as an American or North American caricature, so that it says Jamaican as like authentically Jamaican as possible.
But, but that could be dangerous in some circles. The man himself, Russell Brooks. The books are everything, man. Let me shout out the books, man. Make sure you gotta go get that, man. So you have Pandora's Succession, you have Unsavory Delicacies, you have the Demeter Code, and you have Chill Run, and we're waiting for Jamrun's coming out in 2023. Russell Brooks, thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, listen, we're gonna come back when you have Jamrun. Now, Shara, before we close, let me do.
Talk to me.
You can thank me later. We got like 6 minutes. You can thank me later. Play some joints here. But if we get some joints, let's do our community updates. I know I did some throughout the show, but Beauty Guru Diva Classic launched their pre-Black Friday deals, giving shoppers incredible holiday savings. So Diva Classic has revealed its biggest sale ever of their beauty products just in time for the upcoming holiday season. Whether searching for the perfect or on-trend gift, hosting a holiday celebration, or the perfect stocking stuffer, customers will find incredible prices at 50% off all items such as lashes, brushes, beauty blenders, and more. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to go to Sephora. You just gotta go to Diva Classic. You don't need Sephora. Go to Diva Classic. Of course, next week is the November's Northern Classic. 6 Division I NCAA basketball teams will face off. So that's from November 25th to 27th at Place Bell. And get your tickets online. That's a good look. Evanco has that as well. Good thing I did this. I almost forgot this. WIPCA, West Island Black Community Association, is having on November 20th at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is their general meeting. So want to get back to your community, want to join our team, want to know more about our programming. So that's WIPCA, November 20th from 3 to 5, general meeting. WIPCA, and that's I like to say, one of the only 2 black communities that actually do work in these cities. That's a good look. Of course, you guys know Yellow Pad Sessions tomorrow, Maison La Culture Verdun. We'll be screening 2 powerful films, The Queen of Basketball and the documentary Flea. Also, we have a keynote address by African-American journalist, novelist, human rights activist, and LGBTQIA plus advocate Nima Sadat, and they'll have a performance as well. There'll be mocktails and cocktails after. It's a great event. I'm going to be there as well. So things is moving. Things are moving. So how you feeling, Shahara, man?
I'm feeling good.
When we have you again? We got like 4 minutes left. Russell Parkway in the building. I want a jam run. Listen. How many books do you have? I know you were telling me off here that you write short stories, Shahara. What kind of stories you be writing?
Actually, I'd like to write children's literature.
Okay.
Yes, I was like, I've always been a huge fan of children's literature.
Why aren't I surprised? Why surprised?
And it's not easy to write children's books.
It's not. It's not. And it's funny because, when you talk to people that don't know, that aren't writers, they think, oh, that's so easy. But it's really not.
It's not
really
easy. If I tried to write it, it would come across something as though Samuel L. Jackson authored it. So I'm not going to even try that.
You guys be writing poems. Well, me and Shara are trying to write a book to go with our deluxe album. Our Christmas album is called Under the Mistletoe, Life and Times of Toxicity. Just in time for the holidays, for those that be left alone. Listen, I'm spending Christmas alone at the bar. I'll be at YC and Gavino. I'm not a holiday person.
Oh, but what about that new hip hop bar at the W? Maybe
because
spend some time there.
This is why I shit under the hip hop bar at the W, because the W is so late. You know what I mean? It's so late because they partnered with Hennessy. So hip hop has really turned their back on Hennessy the last couple of years because all the rappers have their own liquor. Yeah, I mean, Hennessy, we don't have no stake in Hennessy. We were rapping Hennessy all throughout the 90s and early 2000s. It's getting hot in here, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't get no ends off Hennessy, so everybody has their own liquor. Like, I'd rather big up Duce.
I feel you.
I'd rather big up Virginia Black. So they didn't even do that. They went to the quick fix. But in their whole prospectus, like Hennessy's had a long history in hip hop. Yeah, and we're done with them.
Mm-hmm.
So W didn't even get that. But what do you want from the W? It's a white hotel chain. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, they didn't get the memo. Some memos are late.
W stands for
we are late with the memo. That's what it starts like. We are late with the memo. That's what it stands for. What do you want me to tell you? I don't know, man. I'm just trying to do things. I'm alone on Christmas, man. Leave me alone.
Oh.
But no, it's not. I love that.
Yeah.
I go to Gavino. I have a shrimp and pasta.
Why is it your?
I hate the fake
your
love.
least favorite holiday?
I love Easter. And Easter's not a crowd favorite with the ladies. I love me some Easter. Maybe
I love Easter too.
I love I love me some food. Anything with food I
But
like.
hold on a second. You're avoiding the question. Why is Christmas your least favorite holiday?
I don't like Christmas because I don't like the fake happiness that everybody's under during the holidays. I'm not down with the fake happiness. It's just not gonna be my thing. And before everyone goes, oh my God, he has trauma. He never good. Yeah, my mom was great at Christmas. The fresh bread. I had the bakes. My mom, 34 course meal going on. And it was just me and my mom, then my uncle and my cousins would come. But yeah, my mom always got me gifts and stuff. I always had, I got the new winter boots. I got the new winter coat. So when you come back from the holidays, when you went, for those I'm like, I already know. When you came back from the Christmas vacation, you want to make sure your swag was right. You know what I mean? Yeah, make sure you have something new to show. You know what I mean? So you want to get that going. But no, it's just because this is not my thing, man. I hate the fake love. Okay. I don't want gifts. I don't give gifts. I disappear for 4 days. Just leave me alone.
Okay. So you feel like the gift giving sort of is like a reflection of the...
I think you should get a ticket from the city. If your Christmas decorations are still up 2 days after Christmas, you should get a ticket. I believe that. I'm probably going to run for mayor soon, man.
Let's write a song about it, Izzy.
Is it? You try to shit on my album idea, but slowly but surely, I see you coming closer to it. You're like, make a thing. I mean, you need an off-brand offshoot. I'm trying to get your man to do a cover for me.
Yes.
On the low. I love it. I want him to design the new cover, the Morning Detour. That's the cover I'm gonna take on. This is the cover I did before I got my major deal. I want your man to produce that for me.
It will be his pleasure.
No, we done.
And I think he's the right fit.
no, we done.
Cool.
Yeah, I want him to do the cover, man. I just wasn't able to we've been messaging. I just gotta hit him back. Yeah, I love him to do the cover. He said.
Honestly, he puts his whole heart into stuff that he does, and I think you guys.
Yeah, he has to put like dead unicorns in the back. He has to put like something like